Right, g'day again. Okay, I'm going to attempt to take some of these runs, and I've been taking bits of dirt out of this, and there is a bit of a run on here, and I said on the last video that I would show you how to take the runs out below. There's lots of videos from professional painters showing how to do this, but anyway, I said I would do it, so here we go. Okay. Yeah. I don't know whether I'm going to be having my head in the way. I've got to try and see this. Right. What we got? We've got a little bit of a run here, bit there. We actually got a dag right there. And a bit more down below. No dirt in this bit. Yeah. This is a sharp blade I had. I've rubbed the two corners off with emery. It's just a broken piece of a new. This is one of those blades that go on them plastic trimmer knives. And you just rub it very lightly. This is actually a little bit green. I'd be better actually leaving this. This really should go out in the sun for a few days, but I'm an impatient person. I want to get, I've been looking at it for 3 days now. I want to get it done. We had a nice sunny day today. I should have stuck them all out on the grass. And yeah, you should be able to see by now. Hopefully I've still got it in the camera because I moved it, so I'll get up and have a look. Yeah. You just be really, really gentle. There's a curve there, so obviously you can't put a flat blade on there, or you're just going to put two big lines on it. Down here it sort of flattens out a little bit, so we can sort of go across. Yeah. Probably should actually follow the contour, so we'll do that. And just be really, really gentle. Hold the blade upright to it, and don't, when you put it down as you're going along, or hold it on there and just go back and forth. But yeah, don't sort of touch it down or you will dig into it. I can actually feel that it feels soft. It's actually a bit too green to be doing this. The drier it is, the less chance you have of pulling the paint up. And it's a slow process, but yeah, this is not a business. The only person waiting on this job is me. So, just now, rush to get it done as quickly as possible. It's not costing money. You just keep going over it. And try and keep it going smooth too. But if you find it sort of digging in and going like this, go in a different direction or something, because that's where you'll pull the paint up. You'll peel clear in the base coat off the primer. So even though the primer was rubbed smooth, like it was dry, so it hasn't really bonded to it. That light's flickering, it's probably going to, that's a battery light, it's probably going to go off. Anyway, rather than bore you with that for the next half an hour, you get the gist. Now I'm going to do something that everybody will say Oh, don't do that. Don't ever do that. And you'll find that they'll do it. They just won't. But you've got to be so careful that that's why they'll say don't do it. See this stag right on the edge? Now, if I try and scrape across that, for one, it's going to take forever, but it's likely to catch and actually take it off. It's likely to pull it off, doing it in the same fashion as this. So I'm going to slice it off. Now I don't have a safety blade. I've got a solid blade with a big bevel on it. And you put it so that you can move it and it's not digging into the paint, you know. Like if I tried to, see, if you put on there and you feel it grabbing the paint, you need more angle, you've got it too upright. And you don't just get it and push it, because you will drag it off. You get it so that it can slide easily on the paint, and you just slice it very gently. Now you're not trying to take it all off right down to level surface. What I'm trying to do here is just take the top off it. So that when I do scrape over it in the same fashion as the other one, it's less likely to pull it out. It is a difficult spot to do it too, because it's right on this corner. So I'm holding it on an angle so that I'm putting very little pressure on it. Yeah. I'm making sure that I can't dig in and gouge it. Yeah, it was only a very slight run. I wouldn't be tempting to do this, but this was a big dag hanging off that. I haven't smoothed the corners off, so I'm be real careful here that I don't put lines in it. One thing you got to do too is have a sharp blade. If your blade's a little bit blunt, it will also have jagged edges that won't cut. It's more likely to grab it and pull it up. Anyway, I don't bore you with that. But yeah, see, we've knocked the top off it now. That's only a very slight mark. I'll go back to the other blade now. Probably blocking your view altogether here, but it's still a bit grubby, a bit chunky. So the other thing I'm going to do, I've been doing this with the nibs, these dust bits. Take it down a bit. And because this is on the corner, you have to be majorly careful. So you only use a little bit of water. few rubs, wipe it dry. When it's dry, you can see how it's going. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but you can see where it's rubbing and where it still needs to be rubbed. See, beside it there. Like the bit you haven't rubbed will still be shiny. Will still have a gloss on it. I'm using well, it's a rubber block, but it's a hard rubber block, and it's also a small block. So I'm trying to just rub so I'm actually almost there on the top. There's a bit on the underside. Because of where it is, like up here, I just had it flat and I was going around it. You can't do it on this sort of area because you're just going to rub through it. You want to be with your blade only scratching the dag itself. Actually, yeah, that's still a bit soft. This is the other thing you get with a run, is the area, once you take the top off it, you'll find it's not as dry, it's not as hard underneath as it is on top. So I'm actually going to leave that for about a half hour. Won't take long. So because sometimes you can't see things, but you can feel it. I can't actually see that. In the sunlight I'd probably be able to do it, but there's another run just here. You watch. Run over a few times. And now you can see it. Anyway, you get the gist. And as I said, there's plenty of panel beater videos about by professionals showing you how to do this. Anyway, up here, we had another run here. I completely removed that. And there's no more dirt. So I'm just going to show you. Does not take very long. Bring the shine back. A bit of water in this. Very much. Turn the speed down to begin with. Spread it out. Even if you haven't got those pads, can be done by hand. Actually, now I've got the shine on there, I can see I haven't completely gotten rid of that run. Looks like I've got rid of it, but I haven't. Anyway. Bit of water. Wipe it off. This rag's a bit textured. A bit softer rag than this. Sort of got a good gloss back. Yeah, actually now they have got the gloss. Yeah, there's still around there. Still a bit chunky. So yeah, I won't go any further with that. Actually this rag's a bit textured, that's actually putting lines in it. And, yeah, gonna go over the whole thing again yet. I'll go over the whole thing and flatten it off. But anyway, just wanted to show you the procedure I've been doing. And hopefully it's all going to turn out alright. As I said, this is it's the worst paint job I've done on a bike, put it that way. I've had some on the cars that were worse, but yeah. So the two first pieces that need to go on, I thought I'll buff them up and put them on the bike. Yeah, less shit hanging around up in the shed. And yeah, what have I got? You can rub through it there. And up here, there was a run which turned out to be not in the paint but in the primer. I think I missed it. Yeah, guide coated it, rubbed the whole back, and I still missed it. That was a run in the primer. So yeah, I'll be painting this little bit. Do the blue out, yeah, probably an inch or so around it. Be doing this with the airbrush actually, and yeah, and then airbrush, like I'll do the blue just around it, and then I'll do the clear over it. Then I'll see how it goes. If it stands out, if you can see it's patched, well then I'll have to use the spray gun and I'll go out a bit more, but I'll see how you go. Sometimes, I think I have touched up this blue on something else, can't think what it was, with the airbrush, and it worked. But there's other times I've tried to touch up metallic paints with the airbrush and it's just too fine, it just won't spray the metal properly. And the other issue I've got is I actually ran out of paint, and I got the tin, because like the tin only had about a litre left in it anyway, and so they had all this dry paint around the walls of the lid and on the underside, or walls of the tin and on the underside of the lid. So I poured some thinners in it, left it sit, and swished it around like just a little bit, and I swished it around, let it sit and swished it around, and I've managed to collect this much in a jar. So, but that's pretty thin. But yeah, we'll be able to see how well that'll actually spray. It sort of looks okay. You get the light on it. But yeah, we'll see how well the mix is. You know, like with the colour and stuff like that. There mightn't be enough blue in it. Too much metal. There might not be enough metal. And as I said, it might have an issue trying to spray it through the airbrush too. So, but I'm hopeful because there is a couple of little bits. There's a bit there. There's 2 bits on this one. There's another bit somewhere on this. Can't see it now. Can't actually show where it is, but there's a bit on here that needs a bit of a touch up too. So, oh yeah, it was on that, on this edge. That was actually a crack that I missed. And it's only white in the crack because you got, like, that'll wash out. But you probably still see the crack, but it won't stand out as much. But the problem is, I was using a blade that wasn't real sharp and it's gouged it. Well, it hasn't gouged it, but it's pulled the paint up. So there's a spot got to go on there as well. This one here, had several runs, but the underside, I totally missed it. Barely got any clear on this side, and then on the other side I didn't even get enough blue. And no clear at all. So, yeah. There's a bit more paint got to go on that. Fortunately I do have plenty of clear. Same up here. That's the other bit that joins onto these 2 bits of fairing. And is it going to show on the camera? Yeah, yeah. See, just in the middle here. And blue's thin. And that's right at the point where you'd see it straight off. So, yeah. I was really hoping, because, you know, this is the only bit that'll be staying blue. All the rest of this I'm going to paint black over it, but I needed this part here to be good. And as I said, there's only a tiny little bit, and I freaking missed some of the blue. Blue's too thin. So that's rather annoying too. But, yeah, the rest of it's all pretty good. Apart from one of these has got a tiny little spot where I didn't, yeah, that initial issue of impurity on it, where the blue didn't stick. Yeah, it must be on the other one. Right. That's it. Yeah. Tiny little white dot. Doesn't that picture off? There's no runs. There's barely any dirt in this. Yeah, these panniers come out really good, except for this one little dot. But I'm not even going to rub that. What I'm going to do with that, I'm going to get a little tiny artist brush and I'm just going to dab blue on it. Yeah, probably 4 or 5 times. And then I'll lightly rub that with the 2000, and then I'll blow a bit of clear over that with the airbrush. Anyway, that's what we're up to. Rather disappointing all in all, but yeah, all of this stemmed from not using a clean rag when I wiped the dust off it before I began. Yeah. It wasn't the metho, it was a rag that I put it on. As I said, I've used metho a lot of times. Yeah, like, you wouldn't use it over an acrylic here because it'd dissolve it, it'd soften it up and leave texture on it, but it's fine over it, you know, a 2-pack primer. But yeah, there must have been some sort of wax or grease on the cloth that I used, and that's where it all stemmed from. That's where most of the dust come from. I've sort of been thinking about it for the last few days, where I wet rubbed it, you know, where we had those impurity problems in the base coat, as I showed in the previous video. I wet rubbed that and then washed it off. But of course, where you wet rub it, even though I've washed it off, it's the paint that I've rubbed off has become dust. You know, it's fallen on the ground, it was falling on the boards and the area around where I was painting. And of course, then as soon as you hit it with the air, like with the spray, it comes up in the air and lands on the job. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where all the dust come from, because there is quite a lot of it. Quite a lot more than usual. Anyway, leave it at that, and yeah, I'll go back to my disappointment and continue on, and we'll catch you again. Yeah. Okay, bye.